Hi everybody, this is Dr. Kemry. There was some disconnect with the last paper, so I want to make it clear to everyone exactly what I'm looking for concept paper 2, right, for compare and contrast paper 2. So I want to reiterate, the actual content in most of the submissions was very, very well thought out. You had key points of the study, you were clear about the study, you were clear about the different samples, if you had different samples, and you were clear on the differences in the protocols, right? Because the protocols would need to be different based on that study design, right? You couldn't have the exact same protocol for differences in study designs because the study design drives the protocol. So if you actually have a different study design, the protocol would be different, right? Sometimes significantly different. And most of you did a really good job explaining that. Now let's talk about the paper and the structure of the paper. So one of the reasons why I didn't get down into the minutia of exactly how a paper is structured is because I assumed, and evidently wrongly assumed, that you would understand that a paper consists of full sentences and paragraphs, not bulleted information, and not simply doing this. And I'll show you what some people did. They took the structure, right, that was provided here and simply did this. They didn't do that. They went down and they copied it like this, hit copy, and hit paste. And they pasted it right there on the paper. And then what they did was, and they even left like the number of points here under these different things. So then they just began to write. Maybe they did take this part out. They took this part out. Let's say, messing that up, but you get my drift, right? So they left the structure, right, and then they just put their particular study design. Most of the diagrams were good, right? So this would be the diagram, right? And then they'd go down to this next point, and they would just, again, leaving the points in there, they would just say, sample study and write like one sentence. Well, that's not a paragraph, right? So this is what we're really looking for, what I'm really looking for. Okay, so in a paper, right, when you write a paper, you need to somehow identify that it's your paper. So we need a name. Now, one of you did make a title page, and that is a great way to do that, right? And that informal writing is what you're going to do. Writing a formal paper, you would need a title page. Well, that title page would not count in the pagination of your actual text, right? You number it, but it is not counted as a page of writing. So what I would like you to do is I would like you to format a title page, right? So your title page is going to be centered, right? You're going to center that title on the page. So this would be your title of your paper, right? And then I want your name, right? And then Drexel University. Okay, so this is going to look similar to APA formatting. If you're familiar with APA, similar, not exact, because we're not dealing with references in this paper. I would, however, like you to tell me, and I will be opening a discussion maybe, or a place for you to tell me what format you're going to use for your final paper, because I need to know if you're going to be using APA format or another format, but I do need to know what format you will be using, okay? All right, so the page numbers need to go at the top, right? The top on the right-hand side. So how you do that is this. You're going to go to, in your Word document, you're going to insert, you're going to go to header or page number. You can do either one because I'm not requiring you to put your title up in there. Right? Go to page number, and we're going to do page number, top of the page for this particular paper, and we're going to go like that. We're just going to hit it so that it goes to the right, and then you're going to close your header or your footer, and now your page number's there, and your pagination will continue throughout your paper. Okay? So remember that title page does not count as one of your 3 pages of text. So I'm going to go down to this page 2. All right, page 2. All right, make sure you set up your margins, right, and everything. So you've already got your page number here, right? If you use header and footer or just the page numbers, right, because we're just putting page numbers in here, your page number will automatically come down to that next page, right, as you scroll down. Now you're going to begin your paper, right? So here you're going to tab in, right? You're going to tab in, and we're going to actually, before we do that, I'm sorry, we're going to actually write, I don't know why it ended up back there, the title of your paper, right? So what is the title of this paper? Now you can put compare and contrast, right? Compare and contrast of, and then the particular study designs, right, that you're going to use. Right? That's what I would suggest. Compare and contrast single case versus quasi-experimental, or whatever you're comparing, right? Whatever two designs you're comparing, right? Then the next thing you're going to have, and spell check is my friend, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to left align your cursor, right? And now you're going to actually write your research question. So my research question, right? And that's okay that this isn't part of my research question is, right? My research question is whatever my research question is, right? Period, right? To address, like something like this question, I will be comparing this research study, or this research design, and this research design. And what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Right? To determine, as you can tell, I'm typing really fast, which design will best, right, suit my needs or answer my question, something like that. Okay, so I need an introductory paragraph that includes your research question. Okay, that tells me what your study designs are, right? Why you're writing this paper, right? Other than because Dr. Kemmery wants me to. Okay, make sure the paragraph is indented, right? And this paragraph, you need at least four well-constructed sentences, right? 4 well-constructed sentences, right? Because that's what a paragraph is, right? Paragraphs are 4 to 5 well-constructed sentences, right? At a minimum, okay? All right, so then you go to paragraph 2. So this is your research question as part of the introduction, right? Now, if you're looking over here, the next thing we need to go into is the study design, right? And this is broken down, 25 points overall for this entire section. You want the name and diagram of the study design, right? So here you're going to copy name and diagram of study design, right? All right, now we want this as a header, right? As a header. At this point, you need to determine whether you're going to left align your headings or whether you're going to center your headings. Okay, for this particular paper, we can do it either way. Okay, so but whatever way you choose, you need to continue with that format. So you're going to go here and you're going to copy that heading here, name and diagram of study design. Okay, all right. Make sure, because this is not double spacing, that we're double spacing, right, in the paper, right? So you should be double spacing in your paper, right? It's not single space, double space, right? Double space, 3 pages of text, okay? If you go a little over 3 pages, that's okay. But again, I don't want 10 pages or anything like that. If it's 3.5, we're still okay, right? But don't go over 3 pages of 3 to 3.5 pages of text with a title page, just like I showed you, okay? So what many of you did was you left the bullets in, you left the numbers in, you left the point value in. No, right? That doesn't look like a scholarly paper, right? That doesn't look like something that you've written. Most of your assignments looked more like the worksheets we were filling out. That's what it put me to mind of, that you were filling out a worksheet, not writing a paper, right? So name and diagram in the study design. Okay, so here again, make sure you are right aligned, right? We're not going to be bolding now. You're going to bold your headings, right? I'm going to bold your headings, and we're going to start a new paragraph. Okay, the first, right? Maybe like this. The first study design I will address is, and then whatever that is. Okay. You can, say, why you picked that, why I chose this one over the others, right? Just a sentence or two, right? And then just, say something like, I'm providing, right? And again, it doesn't have to be these exact words. I'm just giving you an example. I'm providing a diagram, right, of my study concept, right? Something like that. Blah blah blah. To give you a visual, right? That kind of thing. Okay. All right. So that's the way I want you to structure your paper. So for each and every point over here, you're going to give me a couple sentences, right? And in paragraph form, make sure they're paragraphs. Now you can combine some of these sections if you like. So if, again, you wanted to do this all under name, study, design, right? So you see that's 25 points for that entire category. You can then just label that entire section name, study, design, right? Or study design 2, you could put, if it's a single case, you could say single case, right? Say your study design is single case. Instead of doing this, right, you could do this. Okay? Go here, make your heading, say single case. Single case is your study design. And then under that, you make sure that you give me all of the criteria, right, that you see under that section, right? So you wouldn't necessarily have to use those headings, all of those headings. Those are just suggested headings that you could use, depending on how you want to break down your paper, right? I would suggest that at the very minimum you use, like, the first study design, name it as a heading. The second study design, name that as a heading. Make sure that you hit all of the points, right, that are listed under for the point value, right, within the paragraph. And then a section for compare and contrast. Make sure you hit the study design, the sample, and the expected findings for each study. This is worth 30 points, so this should be a pretty significant paragraph or 2 or 3 probably, right? A paragraph or 2 that addresses all of this, right? And then your conclusion is one cohesive paragraph that's gonna mirror, right, your introduction to the paper, okay? The introduction that we wrote. Again, very brief. This is why I'm writing the paper, and this is what I'm going to talk about, right? And in there, make sure that you give me the rationale of which design you chose. And you may want to add that into the introduction. This paper will help me best to determine, which of these 2 study designs would be best for my particular topic, right? That's the formatting that I should see in a scholarly paper, right? Full sentences, paragraphs, right? And a structure that uses headings. You don't have to use all the headings if you don't want to, if you can make it clear with your writing what you're telling me, right? Please be mindful of your spelling and your grammar and your punctuation, right? This is a scholarly paper and should be written in a professional manner. I hope this is helpful. I extended your assignment. Please email me if you have any questions on that, or if you feel you need another day or two given this additional instruction. Thank you guys. Please email me if you have any questions. Have a great day.